We all have those moments. You walk into the kitchen, stand still for a minute, and suddenly forget why you went there in the first place. You find your glasses on top of the fridge, or you miss that appointment with the financial advisor because you wrote it on the wrong day. For most people, that's just life after 60. It's normal. But there is a specific cold dread that hits you when you realize the forgetfulness is starting to affect your safety, your dignity, or your independence. Is this just old age, or is it the start of something serious? That worry, the fear of losing your sharp mind, of becoming a burden to your children, of having to leave the home you built, that fear is powerful. It stops you from asking for help. It makes you feel shame. But we cannot manage what we do not measure. Today, we are going to stop that panic. I want to give you one simple private test you can do right now in your own chair that can provide immediate clarity. It's not a final diagnosis, but it's the most important first step you can take toward protecting your independence and peace of mind. This assessment is often used by doctors and nurses to quickly screen for cognitive decline that might be more than just minor forgetfulness. It measures two things: immediate memory and the ability to organize thoughts. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. You will need a quiet 5 minutes. Let's begin the 3-part check. Step 1. The 3 words. I'm going to give you 3 specific words. I need you to repeat them back to yourself immediately. Listen carefully. They are unrelated. The words are velvet, market, bridge. Say them out loud 3 times right now. Velvet, market, bridge. Now, put them aside. Do not write them down yet. We need to distract your brain for a few minutes. If you can still remember them after the distraction, your immediate recall is likely strong. Beer. Step 2. The clock drawing test. This is the most critical part of the assessment. It tests your executive function, your ability to plan, understand instructions, and organize space. This is often the first thing to decline when memory loss is serious, affecting your ability to manage finances or complex medicine schedules. On your blank piece of paper, I want you to draw a large circle. This is your clock face. Now, put all the numbers on the clock face from 1 to 12 in the correct places. Take your time. Place them exactly where they should be. Finally, draw the hands of the clock so that they show the time 10 minutes past 11, 11:10. Stop here. Do not correct it. Just look at the result. This is where the wisdom of this test lies. If the numbers are scattered, if they are placed outside the circle, or if you struggled significantly to position the 11 and the 2 for the 10-minute mark, it suggests that the part of your brain responsible for planning and spatial organization needs more attention. This is a clearer warning sign than simply forgetting where you parked the car. Serious memory problems often mean problems with planning, not just retrieval. Step 3. The delayed recall. This is the final check. Bring those 3 words back into your mind. What were the 3 words I gave you in step 1? Say them out loud now. Were they velvet, market, bridge? If you remembered all 3 words, that is excellent news for your short-term memory function. If you only remembered 1 or 2, that signals that your immediate memory needs strengthening. What your results mean for your life and your home. If you struggled significantly with both the clock drawing and the word recall, it is time to stop worrying in private and start taking action. You must make an appointment with your doctor right away to discuss your cognitive health openly. This is not a failure, it is protection. This proactive step helps you keep control instead of waiting until a crisis forces your hand. But even if you aced both tests, if the clock was perfect and you remembered all 3 words, you still benefit from this clarity. Why? Because the fear is gone, or at least greatly reduced. When the fear subsides, you make smarter, calmer decisions about your home and your money. You stop cluttering your kitchen with unnecessary gadgets because you worry you might forget how to use the old ones. You stop being afraid to check your monthly bank statement. Wisdom in aging is about creating systems that support your independence, whether your memory is perfect or needs help. This test gives you the roadmap to those systems. For example, if you know your planning function, the clock, is a little weak, you immediately implement safeguards. You organize your weekly medication in a 7-day box on Sunday. You set up automatic payments for all your bills, protecting your money and ensuring you don't miss a critical date. You reduce the number of steps you have to take in the kitchen, removing the need for complex multitasking. This is how we protect our dignity and stay in our homes longer. This clarity, knowing where you stand, is essential, because memory is not the only threat to your independence. There is another danger, often silent, that creeps into the homes of people over 60 that can instantly rob you of your health, your home, and your confidence, regardless of how sharp your mind is. It relates to the simple act of standing up or sitting down. Next, we are going to look closely at the single biggest physical threat to maintaining your independence in the next 5 years, and the 3-minute daily habit that will make your home a fortress against it. You are sitting there, perhaps nodding, wondering if that moment yesterday, when you couldn't recall your neighbor's name, was just normal wear and tear or something more serious. We talked about the fear. Now, let's talk about the freedom that comes with knowing. The truth is, minor forgetfulness is part of life, especially as we juggle more years and more history. But how do we separate the keys lost in the couch from a true cognitive shift? We need a simple tool, a baseline test you can do right now in the quiet of your own home without the pressure of a doctor's office. This isn't a diagnosis, it's just information. It's your map. We call this the Daily Independence Check. It focuses on the 3 major areas of thinking: immediate recall, executive function, and visual spatial reasoning. These are the skills that keep you safe, independent, and secure in your home. Go find a piece of blank paper and a pencil. We'll wait. Ready? Let's start with a crucial check on your immediate memory. This is the memory you need to take the right dose of medication or to remember the ingredients you need at the market. I'm going to give you 3 simple words. I want you to repeat them immediately and then hold on to them. Do not write them down yet. The words are spoon, market, window. Repeat them back to me now. Just whisper them. Good. Now, put those 3 words out of your mind completely. We will come back to them in just a few minutes. While those words are settling, let's move to the second part of the check: executive function and visual spatial reasoning. This is vital. It's the part of the brain that organizes tasks, manages bills, and keeps you from falling. On your piece of paper, I want you to draw a simple clock face, just a circle. Now, place all the numbers, 1 through 12, in the correct positions inside that circle. Take your time, making sure the numbers are spaced appropriately. Next, I want you to draw the hands of the clock so that they show the time, 10 minutes after 11. Take a good, quiet minute to complete this task. This clock-drawing task is incredibly revealing. It checks if your brain can retrieve visual memories, what a clock looks like, organize information spatially, where the numbers go, and execute complex instructions, setting the specific time. A serious struggle here, numbers clustered incorrectly, missing numbers, or the hands pointing to the wrong time, can often signal that the brain is having trouble managing the daily organization necessary for independent living. If you struggle to draw the clock, it might signal deeper issues than just forgetting where you left your glasses. It's information that suggests you might need help organizing complex things like your investments, your daily pill sorter, or remembering which burner you left on. It's a moment to pay attention to your safety. Now, let's go back to those 3 words we set aside: spoon, market, window. Can you recall them now? Write them down on your paper. If you recalled all 3 words without prompting, that is a very good sign. It means your short-term encoding is likely intact. If you only remembered 1 or 2, that suggests a gap in how your brain is filing new information. This might be why you sometimes feel lost in a conversation or forget what you walked into a room for. Now, look at your paper. You have 3 quick data points: immediate recall, clock drawing, and delayed recall. We are looking for severe difficulty across the board. If you struggled significantly with both the clock drawing and the delayed recall, this is when that information becomes actionable. It's a signal that this is likely not just normal aging. If you scored well, take a deep breath. You likely have normal age-related forgetfulness, often worsened by stress or lack of sleep. If you struggled significantly, please do not panic. This is your chance to take charge. This information is your shield. It tells you exactly what to talk about with your trusted doctor. Not just, "I'm forgetful," but "I struggled with spatial tasks and short-term recall." This empowers them to start proper assessment. But whether you aced that quick test or found it challenging, the next step is the same. Protection. Your memory is not a passive tool, it's an active muscle. And just like any muscle, we have to feed it, rest it, and use it correctly. In our next segment, we are going to look beyond the tests and dive into the 3 simple daily habits related to your sleep, your stress, and your social life that research shows can dramatically slow down cognitive decline and build a powerful protective buffer around your most precious asset, your sharp, capable mind. We're starting with a simple warning about your evening routine. A silent habit many of us seniors engage in that is actively stealing our sleep and eroding our long-term memory. It's an easy fix, but the impact is profound. Stay with us. Now, let's talk about the results of the simple tests we discussed. This is often the hardest part, because finding clarity can bring up unexpected emotions. If you noticed minor slips, forgetting where you put your keys once or twice a week, or walking into a room and forgetting why, please breathe a sigh of relief. This is almost certainly benign forgetfulness. Your brain is simply juggling too much input. The biggest problem here is likely the anxiety the forgetfulness causes you. If, however, you consistently struggled with the 3-word recall, or if a close friend or family member has recently pointed out that you seem confused about the day or the season, then we move into the crucial next step. I need you to remember this. If there is a potential problem, catching it early is not a curse. It is the greatest gift of time you can give yourself and your independence. The goal is not to panic. The goal is to prepare. If your simple self-assessment raised a red flag, we are starting a 7-day protection protocol, a quick burst of effort designed to secure your independence today, while your memory is still strong enough to handle complex tasks like organizing paperwork. We are going to focus on 3 areas that protect your dignity and your future independence: safety at home, financial clarity, and routine health management. First, safety at home, eliminating the friction. When memory starts to decline, simple tasks become confusing. This often leads to unnecessary frustration and, worse, a much higher risk of falls or accidents. Take an honest look at your kitchen counter. Is it cluttered? Are there too many items crammed into the refrigerator door? A chaotic physical space puts strain on a vulnerable mind. You are constantly searching instead of simply doing. We want a kitchen that works on muscle memory. For the next 7 days, pick one high-risk area to simplify. I suggest the place where you keep your medications and supplements. Buy a simple, large-print weekly pill organizer. Get rid of all the old bottles that are cluttering the space. Move your water glass right next to the organizer. Make the routine so simple that it requires almost zero thought. This is health protection through home organization. Next, look at the clutter near your main armchair or in your home office. Are there piles of bills, doctor statements, and utility notices? This stack of paper represents future anxiety. Second, financial clarity and dignity. One of the greatest fears of aging is losing control of our money, often because we can no longer track the details, making us vulnerable to scams or confusing transactions. If you struggle with recall, the time to establish clear financial boundaries is right now. You need a dedicated, fireproof independence binder. This binder isn't about budgeting, it's about clarity in an emergency. In the binder, you only need 4 things, clearly labeled. 1. A list of all your recurring bills and the dates they are due. 2. The location of your will and power of attorney documents, or a note that they need to be drawn up. 3. The names and phone numbers of your primary doctor, pharmacist, and one trusted financial advisor. 4. A list of all major insurance policies, home, health, life. Gathering this information can feel daunting, but completing it is a massive shield against future anxiety. It ensures that if there comes a time when you need assistance, your family can step in respectfully without having to search through your private drawers and upsetting your home. This is dignity protection. Third, routine health management. If the self-test suggests cognitive slips, you need to tighten up the systems around your physical health. Memory is often tied to physical well-being. Are you skipping your glasses because you can't find them? Are you ignoring that foot pain because getting to the doctor seems like too much trouble? We often overlook that poor vision. Hearing loss and chronic pain all dramatically worsen cognitive function. They steal mental resources because your brain is trying to fill in the gaps. This week, schedule one appointment you have been putting off. It doesn't have to be with a memory specialist. It could be an eye exam, a podiatrist, or just a wellness check with your primary care physician. Tell them about your memory concerns, even the small ones. Simply say, "I'm worried about my concentration lately. What routine blood tests should we run?" Taking control of these physical inputs is a direct way to support your brain health. When you can see clearly and hear well, the brain has less work to do and fewer errors to manage. Remember, the anxiety around memory loss is exhausting. But the relief that comes from taking concrete action, sorting the pills, simplifying the counter, filling the binder, is powerful. This movement from fear to action restores your feeling of control. You are building a fortress of safety around your life right now. And while physical systems and paperwork are vital, they are only half the story. In the final part of our conversation, we must look deeply at the often ignored cornerstones of true brain health. We will uncover two essential daily habits that cost nothing but time, which science now proves are more critical to protecting your memory than any single supplement or medication. These habits prevent the silent, creeping loss of connection that affects millions of seniors. We'll look at the silent shame of loneliness and how to use simple social rituals to keep your mind sharp and your spirit calm. That discussion starts next. Now, let's wrap up this crucial self-assessment. If you have kept your notes from the first few segments, we have covered immediate recall and orientation. Those steps show how well your brain is storing and retrieving new facts. But serious cognitive decline often shows up first in what we call executive functions, the ability to plan, organize, and execute complex tasks. This is the final essential part of the quick test. It is called the clock drawing test. Please take that piece of paper and a pen again. First, draw a large circle. Make it big enough to look like a full clock face. Now, you need to place all the numbers, 1 through 12, in the correct positions, just as they would appear on a real clock. Take your time, but don't erase or overthink it. Just place the numbers. Finished? The second step is the most important one. I want you to draw the hands on the clock face to show the time 10 minutes after 11. That is 11:10. Now, stop. Put your pen down. Look carefully at what you drew. This simple exercise tells a medical professional a tremendous amount about your brain's ability to coordinate visual skills, motor skills, and memory retrieval all at once. If you successfully place the numbers correctly, and if the hands are clearly pointing to the 11 and the 2, which represents 10 minutes, that is excellent. If the numbers are crowded, missing, or placed outside the circle, or if you struggled significantly to decide which hand was the hour hand versus the minute hand, this flags a need for deeper discussion with your doctor. Remember the promise. We are using this test not to panic, but to protect. If your score was lower than you hoped, if you struggled with the recall words, the orientation questions, or the clock drawing, what does this wisdom tell us to do next? First, discard the shame. The fear that your children or friends will judge you is the single biggest barrier to maintaining independence. You are being wise and proactive. A score that indicates concern is an invitation to protect your future self. It is a sign that routine and planning need to become stricter habits, starting today. Your very first step is to tell your primary care physician about these results. Write down the results clearly before your appointment. Don't go in saying, "I think I'm forgetting things." Go in saying, "I took a self-assessment test and I struggled with A, recalling the 3 words, B, drawing the clock correctly, and C, the date and time." Be factual, be calm. You are demanding a partnership in protecting your brain health. While you wait for that appointment, there are 3 immediate actions you can take in your home to safeguard your independence, regardless of the cause of the memory issue. The first is securing your medicine. Confusion over medications is the #1 cause of emergency room visits for seniors. If you are living alone, Simplify your routine now. Use a large, reliable pill organizer, the kind that spells out the days clearly. Keep all other unused bottles in a locked cabinet or give them to a trusted family member for disposal. This eliminates accidental double dosing during a moment of forgetfulness. The second is reducing clutter and fall hazards. When the mind is working harder to retrieve memories, it has less capacity for situational awareness. A messy home suddenly becomes a dangerous home. Focus on clearing one pathway, from the bed to the bathroom and from the kitchen to the living room. Remove every throw rug. Clear the stacks of magazines and papers. This protects your body while your mind is being checked. The third is protecting your finances. A common sign of emerging cognitive decline is making unwise financial decisions or becoming vulnerable to scams. You must secure your money now while your reasoning is completely clear. Simplify your banking. If you have 4 different bank accounts and 3 different retirement funds, consolidate them into 1 or 2 easily managed locations. This makes tracking easier for you and easier for any trusted person who might need to help you later. Next, draft 2 simple documents, even if you just keep them in a sealed envelope until needed. One is a list of all your recurring bills and when they are due. The other is a list of all your accounts and passwords. Use coded hints, not the actual password if that feels safer. This isn't about giving up control. This is about ensuring that if there is a moment when you cannot manage your own affairs, perhaps a fall, an illness, or confirmed memory issues, your financial life remains peaceful and protected. This proactive wisdom preserves your dignity and prevents family conflict. Remember that memory is deeply connected to your emotional well-being. Loneliness, stress, and anxiety accelerate forgetfulness. The more structure we build, the more peaceful our mind becomes. A peaceful home is one built on predictable routine. Set predictable meal times, walk times, and quiet times. Structure is the support beam for the aging mind. We have addressed the fear of memory loss, understood the difference between normal aging and concern, and created an action plan for health and home. But we cannot stop there. The next segment is perhaps the most vital for protecting your overall security and peace. We must discuss the invisible threats that attack seniors every day, the traps laid online and in your own mailbox that specifically target loneliness and financial vulnerability. I will share the single best habit you must adopt this week that protects not only your savings account, but also your deepest sense of safety and independence. That habit begins with recognizing the true cost of isolation and the surprising places wise elders find genuine connection.